All right, good afternoon. It's Monday and I am working on this recording for week 5. So this week on our video, we're going to talk about writing the equation of a line. We're going to use two forms. We're going to use slope-intercept form and we're going to use point-slope form. So we're going to talk about both forms. We're going to talk about both ways to do this. Both of these and this whole thing is Algebra 1 review. We'll see how much you remember, and that's okay. So that's what this video is going to be. And then in the workbook, there will be pages that will go along with it that you can do that are extra. There will also be a Delta Math assignment, and I'll talk about Delta Math in class, but it's going to be an online component that you guys are going to be able to use and enter answers in and get immediate feedback on whether or not you're on the right track. So I'll talk about that in class. So to move on, oh, wait, before we start, we probably just need to remember what, you got it, what slope is. So, what is slope? If we have a graph, oh, let me draw a straight line. If we have a coordinate axis and we draw a line on it, the slope of this line, this red line, is positive. And that's because from left to right, the line is going up. If we had one that's going like this green one is negative because from left to right, it's going down. So the green line is going down. Two other ones. Let's see if you guys remember one. What's the slope of this line that is horizontal or parallel? Ooh, that one's not really parallel. Parallel to the x-axis. Yep, the slope of the purple line is 0. And let's do one more. How about the slope of a line that goes straight up and down? That vertical line. Right, that one is undefined. So again, this is all just review from Algebra 1. We're going to continue on. Slope, though, is your, some people say rise over run. Some people say that it is, and these are all the same, the change in y over the change in x, y being your vertical and x being your horizontal. Some people rewrite it using the formula and they say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's the slope between 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. So again, this is just a reminder of what slope is and how to find it. We'll do a couple of practice where you actually have to calculate the slope. So your two forms of writing equations are going to be slope-intercept form and point-slope form. So I'm going to keep things in slope-intercept form in this blue pen. So y equals mx plus b is your slope-intercept form. And I'll put point-slope form in red. So point-slope form is going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, in order to write the equation of a line, we have to have information about the line. We are going to need the following kinds of pieces of information. We might need a graph. A graph would work. We might get a point and a slope. We might get a slope and a y-intercept. And we might just get 2 points. And we need to be able to take all of those kinds of things and write the equation of the line that goes along with that, okay? So let's say, first of all, that we're given a graph. We'll start with this one. You can clearly see that this one crosses the y-axis at 0, -5, and it has this 0.43. So if I want to write the equation of a line, again, what do we need? We need information. So we're going to be looking for, if we want to write the equation, okay, things we need. First of all, we're going to need a slope, okay? Second of all, we're going to need a point on the line. Now we could have special points. We could have the y-intercept, or we could just have some other random point. So given this graph, we know that the point on the line, why don't we use the y-intercept 0, -5? And now we need to count out our slope. So this is the cool thing is we can actually look for points that are directly on, and we can just count our rise. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4, and then right 1, 2, which simplifies 2. Yep, you got it, 2. So what two pieces of information we have? We have the slope. And what kind of a point is this one? It is a point on the line, but more specifically, it crosses the y-axis. So this is your y-intercept. So if we go back to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, we should be able to write this equation or write the slope directly onto it. So let's go ahead and do that. Y equals m is 2, times x plus b is -5. But we've got that positive negative, so we're going to rewrite it as y is equal to 2x minus 5. So this is one of the many examples that we'll look at today. All right, next one, given a graph. We have 2 points given to us. We have the -4, 5 and 4, 1. So let's review finding the slope first. And let's do this with the point -4, 5 and 4, -1. So we're going to do the y's minus the y's. So we're going to go -1 minus 5. And then we'll do 4 minus -4. Notice I put in parentheses the negative numbers so that way I don't forget that they're negative and my signs are correct. So -1 minus 5 is -6. 4 minus -4 is 4 plus 4, or 8. If I simplify, I can divide numerator and denominator both by 2. That gives me -3/4. Now, slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So let's actually choose one of the 2 points. So let's choose this point. So y is 5, m is -3/4, b is -4, or x is -4, and then we don't know what b is. We don't know what the y-intercept is, so we're actually going to solve that. We're going to divide. So we're going to do 3 times 4, which is 12 over 4, plus b. What's 12 divided by 4? You are correct, it's 3. So then we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. B is equal to 2. Okay? So therefore, we're not done yet. Our equation is y is equal to -3/4 x plus 2. Okay? Now, point slope form. I had that in red. Point slope form is nice because I don't need a lot of simplification. If I know my slope is -3/4 and I know my point is the point -4, 5, I can just write it in my slope or point slope form. So y minus 5 equals -3/4 x plus 4. And that's because negative becomes positive. And we'll look at another one of those in a few minutes here. All right. Given a point and given a slope. First of all, what kind of a point are we given? What kind of a point is that? If you said that it's a y-intercept, you are correct. And then this is the slope. We can put it in slope-intercept form because I've got everything I need. Y is equal to negative 3x minus 4. Now, if I wanted to put it in point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So this is x1, y1, and this is m. So now we're just going to substitute in. Our variables are y and x, so they have to be in the problem. So I can just rewrite y minus negative 4 equals negative 3, x minus 0. So let's simplify. Y plus 4 equals negative 3x. And we could just leave it like that because x minus 0 is just x. All right? Now this one, I've got a slope and I've got a point. So I'm actually going to start this one in slope-intercept form, or point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Again, these are our variables, so they have to be written as x and y. So we're going to go y minus 5, because this is y1, equals, there's your m, negative 6/5, x minus negative 10. What happens when we subtract a negative? You are correct, we make it into a positive. Now, here's the cool thing about point slope form. I'm done. You can leave it just like this. Okay? You don't have to take it any further. We don't have to write it as y equals mx plus b. We can literally just leave it as y minus 5 equals negative 6/5 times x plus 10. Okay? Now, if you wanted to use the points or the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. That's great. We're going to put 5 in for y. We're going to put negative 6/5 in for x, or for m. X b is negative 10, and plus b. So now we actually need to do more solving. So this method could actually lead us to more errors because we actually need to do the solving. So I'm going to leave this as, what, 60 over 5 plus b, because negative 6 times 10 is positive 60. So 5 is equal to 12 plus b. I think so. 60 divided by 5. I got my calculator out. 12. I did it right. I know, sometimes we don't trust PK's mental math. So 5 minus 12 is negative 7. So b is equal to negative 7, but we're not done yet. We still have to write the equation, which is y equals negative 6/5 x minus 7. Both of those answers are completely correct. We could manipulate this equation and write it in point slope-intercept form, but it is not necessary. Point slope form is a perfectly acceptable way to write these. So again, what would be the easiest way to do this one? If you said point slope form, you're correct, because we're just going to put y minus negative 3 for x minus 10. Only thing I'm going to change is the negative negative and make it into a, positive, equals 4x minus 10. And you can leave it just like that. You can be done. Okay? If you use slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b, we're going to say negative 3 equals 4 times 10 plus b. This one's not too bad. Negative 3 equals 40 plus b. Subtract 40. But it still requires more work. B is equal to negative 43. Therefore, 3 dots means therefore, y is equal to 4x minus 43. Okay? Now, what happens if I don't give you a slope? What happens if I just give you 2 points? You're right. PK, if we don't have the slope, then we just need to find the slope. You guys are pretty smart today. So let's find the slope. So let's make that green. M is equal to y2. I like to label. y2, -1 minus 2. x2, 0 minus -5 gives me -3 over +5. What kind of a point is this? Hey, if you notice that that was a y-intercept, we can go straight into slope-intercept form. Y is equal to -3/5 x minus 1. That's it. Look at what you have and use what you have to help you solve your problems, okay? So you could use the point -5 too, but again, why? Don't use it if you don't have to, okay? If you wanted slope, point slope form, you could use either of the 2 points. You would say y, you could do y minus 2 equals -3/5 x plus 5, opposite sign. Or you could say y plus 1 equals -3/5 x minus 0. That would work as well. Okay? Remember, negative times negative or negatives right next to each other give you what kind of a symbol? Yep, you're right. That's that positive. That's where I got that, and that's where I got that. Okay? Oh no, another one without the slope. You're right, PK, we should find the slope. How many of those did you do last year on Algebra 1? You're right, you did about a gazillion of them, so this really shouldn't be too much. -2 minus 5, 4 minus 5, -7 over -1, which is +7. This one works out nicely. I'm going to go ahead and point slope it. Which point do you want to use? First one? Okay. Y minus 5 equals 7, x minus 5. Ding dong. If you really wanted to do the other one, y plus 2 equals 7 times x minus 4. All right, let's do the point slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to use this point. 5 equals 7 times 5 plus b. 5 equals 35 plus b. Subtract 35. B is equal to -30. Therefore, the equation y is equal to 7x minus 3. Again, another way to solve it gives you the same answer. Okay. That's what I have as far as notes go. So there are notes on given 2 points. There are notes on this one. This one's slope-intercept form in blue because the intercept is given to us, the y-intercept. Otherwise, point slope is an easier method. Here's how we do it. If we're given a slope and a point, you could use either way. All of the answers, all of these are correct answers, okay? Here, correct answer, correct answer, correct answer. They look different, but they're all the same thing. Correct answer, correct answer, correct answer. These all mean the same thing. They're all the same answer, they just look different. I don't care which method or way that you write your answers. If you want to use slope-intercept form, you can. If you want to use point slope form, you can. This one's correct. This one's correct. This one's correct. Okay? If you have the slope and the y-intercept, you can use slope-intercept form. Any of those methods is actually going to work. So I'm going to list some pages on the weekly to-do list. I'm going to list some pages on the weekly to-do list so that you can practice. And then there's going to be the Delta Math, which is new. There are going to be notes in class on angle relationships. There'll be some practice problems with that. And then there'll be an additional one other thing in the to-do list. But I'll go through all of that in class with you guys. If you have any questions, don't forget to log on Monday so that you can ask for help. Again, people are logging on, they're not asking any questions. I've got time, I've got 20 minutes per class to answer questions if you guys have those questions. All righty, thank you. And I will talk to you in class.